Hello everyone, welcome back to another video from VerifyWise. Today we'll be going over automations. Automations are what keep a governance program from drifting. EU AI Article 9 requires a continuous iterative risk management system and not point in time checks. And ISO 42001 clause 9.1 says the same about monitoring and measurement. Automations are how those requirements get operationalized. Your watcher when nobody's looking. We're on an empty state. The headline says, let's verify wise do work for you. On the right, four suggested automations show the pattern. A vendor risk alert, a control due reminder, a new project member welcome, and a high risk response. Each one reads as when an event or an action. That's the whole mental mode of the page. Let's start by clicking create new automation in the left sidebar. A card appears, new automation 1 is the default name that you can give for an automation name. The right-hand panel shows the automation name field, and the middle one waits for a trigger. I rename it to something meaningful. Let's say it as high risk on resume screening. And we would like to notify owner. All right. Consistent naming using the pattern object plus event plus action makes the library scannable once you have a dozen of these running. Let's click on add trigger in the middle. The trigger menu opens with 10 options. Change triggers for vendors, models, projects, tasks, risk, training, policies, and incidents. Plus a vendor review date is approaching. Trigger and a schedule a report option for recurring exports. For our scenario, I want to react whenever a high risk is added on the AI powered resume screening use case. I'll click on when a risk is changed. The right-hand panel populates with the trigger configuration. This is where I narrow the scope and change typeset to edit rather than any kind of an edit severity. I'll send in an email notification. I'll set myself as the participant, as the recipient. All right. Yep, everything looks good so far. I've got the email body along with the email subject. And I'll just toggle this as on. When a risk is changed, send email notification, and I'll just click on save this automation. Now you'll see that the automation has been created successfully. In this section, we've shown you how an automation turns a passive governance library into a live reactive system with triggers, scopes, actions, and an on and off control in service of EU AI Act Article 9 and ISO 42001 Clause 9.1. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.